Hey, good morning, guys and gals. It's Bob in 1KPR. Fresh in from shoveling snow. Yeah. We got more snow. We had 16 or 18 inches, then another 10 or 12, and now we've got another 4 to 6. Uh, Today is what, Tuesday? And we're going to have 2 more storms before the weekend. So here I am in the shop. Smart place to be. Um, we were talking the other day about Q multipliers over at the club, our radio club. A very fine old 75-year-old radio club. See, there it is. Stratford, Connecticut. A legacy club. Bunch of very talented, knowledgeable, and capable people over there. And anyhow, I had dragged or drugged out my, I drugged my old radio, and I got it cleaned up off its drugs, and it was a Hammerlin. I got a HQ160 and a HQ100A. And I'm playing around with the Q multipliers and realized, these things were pretty nifty back in the day. I remember back in the 50s and 60s playing with that. I built my dream radio back then was the Allied Night Kit R100A. Had a very effective Q multiplier in it as well. And it brings back memories of 50, 60 years ago of all those fun things. Anyhow, I said, you know what? Let's do that today. And I'm going to combine it with some of my pre-selector technology. And the fact that now I've been playing around with, and the world has had these varactors. I've been playing, I'm a late adopter. I've been using air variables for receive, and that's kind of crazy with today's technology. You don't have to do that. If you want to, go ahead. My first pre-selector was back in the 50s. I took apart an old tuner that a neighborhood ham gave to me, and he showed me how to rewire it. And I made a pre-selector out of a tuner, and I was thrilled. So this experimenting goes back 60 some odd years when Bob was single digit in age. Yeah, I know. There's humor in there. You gotta laugh. Here is, let me unclip this thing here. Here's a basic drop. See how that works? Here's a basic pre-selector I built for the AM band that has its own power supply. There's probably other shots of the units that I built up here on YouTube. I know there is AM only, or all the SWL bands and ham bands from 10 or 20 kilohertz down there where you want to do VLF stuff, all the way up to 30 and even 30 megs and even the 6 meter band. Anyhow, there's the thing with its little 9 volt power supply and the BB112 varactors right there by my finger, and pretty simple. And you can see that in other places. But anyhow, I took that technology and I put it on a board here, and what we have is a band selector, tuning pot, and the bypass switch for notching. I'm sorry, for peaking, like we had in the old pre-selectors. I did the same thing over here, but guess what? Well, you're way ahead of me, aren't you? This is for notching. We got some big old toroids because I want a very efficient transform when we're working with these different impedances, and I'll explain that in a minute. But here's the basic, same type of circuitry that I just showed you with the broadcast band. The BB112s and the biasing resistors, all those circuits are up here on YouTube. Look at some of my pre-selector things from the year 2020. You remember that year, the COVID year? It was a COVID-19 that we got in 2020. All right, we'll work on that, I guess, because it goes. Anyhow, and this is the notching side. I had to add more caps because we have to insert the inductance in between the input. You know what? let me get some schematics out and show you, because now you've seen how pretty I build things. Isn't that pretty? No, it's not. It's kind of sloppy, but you know what? It worked. Your car may not be the most beautiful one on the street, but if it starts every day and gets you to the bakery, you're a winner. Stand by. All right. I don't know how long you were standing by, but it took me about 3 minutes to do that. I got these backwards. Here's the basic peaking thing. It's very simple. Series resonant LC network is 0 ohms at resonance. 0 ohms. As you leave that realm, that frequency that it's tuned for, guess what happens? The impedance of the circuit screams up in the air, way, way high. Now, it's all relative to the loop that it's in, the circuit loop. In this case, here, you would assume 50 ohms output load and 50 ohms source impedance, the antenna, whatever. Now, what happens, see, I have 50-50. What happens if you cut that down with a 4-to-1 transformer, or even a 9-to-1, and go to 5.5 ohms? You might wonder what happens. Well, I'm going to show you. Here's what happens. Look at the 50. This has been, I'm using the broadcast band here for show and tell, but this applies everywhere in the world of physics. The 50 ohm, there you are. I put a 9-to-1 balun in here. We're tightening that thing up really, really nice. I said, you know what? Let's put the 9-to-1 in there. What did I say? I'm sorry, this is the 4-to-1. Yeah, my feet are cold. I was out shoveling snow. I can't. And here's the 9-to-1. This is beautiful for a broadcast. Or forget about how wide it is way down here at -20. Look at this sucker up here. And the loss. We're at a loss of about 3 dB, if that. So, there you are. If you're going to build a series tuned resonant circuit, get the source and load impedance is low, a la these transformers. Now you can see here, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 18, that's 3-to-1 windings. That's a 9-to-1 impedance ratio. So if we're coming in here at 50, we're coming out at 5.5 ohms. Calculated, not in the real world, but calculated. And then feeding in series the BB112s, which will give me about 375 picofarads at the high end, and the low end around 20 or 30, I think. I'm not quite sure. I'll show you that on the charts later. And of course, coupling caps to keep the DC out. You can go look at that, all that technology, and the other videos I have here. So I want to not go too long here. All right, now we go into the parallel thing. What's the parallel resonant circuit? At resonance, it's the opposite of a series. It goes to super, super high impedance because it's acting like a tank circuit. And you got these two things out of phase by 180, and you got these circulating currents, and beep-a-boop, it's not going to let anything through. So, what do you want to do? Well, we're always working with 52 ohms. Let's try it, Bob, at 450 and see what happens, and then maybe 800. So here we got the 9-to-1. 1800 divided by 52. Hey, that's 36-to-1. All right, let's see if the same thing holds true. Let me get the thing. Here's the thing. You got to look at the thing. 375 puffs and 330 microhenries. I'm sorry, for this particular show and tell. 52 ohms. There's the 9-to-1, 450, and the 36-to-1 here. I think that's the phone. I'll let the maid get it. Uh, in that very simple circuit. So, let's look at the effectivity if you're actually using this thing. You want to be down 20 dB between 5 and 400K. You're down 20, down 15 in that 10 kilohertz region. The band, if you go up into the broadcast band between here and way over here, you're going to see that you're probably going to have half channel selectivity at minus 15 or minus 20 dB. Just, okay, so that's, sorry for the interruption. That's basically that. Again, the technology, you know, all the other circuits and everything, you can find them at a lot of the other videos here that I've done. Let's put in the peaking thing. That's this side here, and I'm going to set up the Watkins Johnson at 960 kilohertz, and let me just, I don't even know where I am right now. Let's just watch the signal string. Alright, I've got, oh, the other thing, whenever you do testing like this, shut off the AGC, otherwise you're not going to get anything accurate. You want the radio to work as a piece of test equipment, so alright, should have do this without a producer here. Alright, I'm turning the pot very slightly. You can see it peak way up into overload. I'm just continuing to turn, and it's dropping down to dead air. And I'm coming back, I'm turning clockwise again. We're up to the peak, and then we're going way out of it. I'll show you how much I'm turning this. I turned it from about here to here. That's how sharp that thing is. Alright, let me set this up for notching. We'll shut off that. Turn that side on. And we'll go back. I don't know. This is all relative, so I can give you the numbers later. I'm turning the pot. I'm trying to with one hand. There. Dead air, nothing. That's the notch. I'm tweaking it very, very slowly. Look at that. And it went through the peak, and now it's on its way down again. There it is at the peak. So we're talking about, you know, there's like 40 dB in there. And again, how much was Bob turning it? From right there to about there. And again, it was just, you know, we're just in the playing around in this area. Oh, by the way, I designed this thing with, here's the bank of inductors wired right to the back of the switch. Keep the series inductance and straight capacitance down, so I just put them on the back of the switch there. Can focus on that. Okay, and we're actually going up to 100 millihenries, and it's the same thing that I did before with you guys. Where's my chart? I don't have it here. 100 millihenries will get you down to 10 or 20, way down below, 10 or 20 kilohertz. So you can do VLF, LF, you go up to MF. I have them at the 6 positions. Let me get the 5 positions. Let me get the chart. All right, here, it's the wrong chart, but let me just go through it. We're working down here, is usually where I start, around 10 or 20 kilohertz, and we take it all the way up through the EMF band into the shortwave band. I try to finish up around 30. It usually comes out around here somewhere. I've actually pushed this up into 60 megs, the 6-meter band. For the kind of preferences I have, it's going to be 10 or 20K up to about the 40-meter band here. But the trick is, here's what you do. Write this down. 100 millihenries, 10 millihenries, 1 millihenry. Get that so far? Then 100 microhenries, 10 microhenries, 1 microhenry. That will give you, and that's what we have here. You see the 6 coils. Those 6 chokes will give you barely overlapping bands from 10 or 20K out to around 32, 35 megahertz. If you're using the BB112, which has a capacity range of, on the chart, somewhere between these 2 red lines. I've got it down near 10, 15, 20 puffs. I don't know if I can get exactly that low, but I can get up to almost 400 here. And if you want to take a screenshot, if you can see the blue, let me see if we can get a nice thing here for you. You see the blue, those are the chokes. On the left column are the impedances. Of course, on the bottom is the frequency. Let me get closer. And you can see we have the 1 millihenry, the 10, the 100, 1, 10, and 100 in micro henries. Okay. That's it. This is only the beginning. There's going to be another part, or a second, third part, or I don't know. If you want to look at all the parts, you could look at them. If not, just ignore me. As we start to build this, I'm going to build this into a 1RU like I did my other pre-selectors. Please take a look at those. There's a lot of nice schematics and some theory and technology and how I built the things. And yeah, you know what? Keep the emails coming. I enjoy reading your comments, and thank you so much, everybody, for your nice words. I'm not as talented as you put into words. I'm really not. I'm a retired engineer guy who's just playing. So thanks. YouTube and 1KPR, please subscribe. You know, we get a lot of subscribers. Notice I don't monetize, so it's free for everybody. And my website, which is a little behind times, but there's a lot of really nice reference material there. www.bobsamerica.com. Stay warm, stay safe from the CV-19, and we love you all. Take care, babe.